They say eyes see all, but what if they can also take all you have? The night swallowed the city slowly, like dark ink pooling across shattered glass, its edges bleeding into every cracked street and fractured facade. Outside my cramped apartment window, the world was unraveling, sidewalks split into jagged bones, street lamps hissing their last flickers before surrendering to the suffocating black. Silence wasn't empty, but thick and viscous, pressing like damp wool against brittle walls that leaned in to listen. Inside, the air choked on musk and mold, thick as rotting fruit left too long in shadowed corners. Peeling wallpaper, stubborn as old regrets, clung to the walls, sticky beneath my trembling fingers like cold flesh. My coat's coarse fabric flayed my wrists, each abrasion a reminder of raw vulnerability beneath thin defenses. A crawling chill snaked up my spine, faint yet undeniable. The feeling of countless eyes not just watching, but ravenous, hungry, a gathering storm behind the thin veil of reality. I pressed my palm against the window's cold glass, tracing the splinters that spiderwebbed beneath, each crack a mirror fracturing my breath into shards. The city's rot was seeping into me, leaking poison spun from fractured memories and silent screams I couldn't name. "It's only paranoia," I whispered, voice brittle and fractured as shattered tile underfoot, just the city's poison bleeding into my mind. But the feeling tenaciously curled, a living shadow breathing with my own stuttering pulse. From a curling darkness near the hallway's end, I glimpsed it, a sliver of movement, maybe an eye, or the flicker of one hungry for more than light. My heartbeat pulsed against my ribs, hammered like errant drumbeats in a sinking ship. Yet when my gaze locked on the void, the silence answered with nothing but absence. But absence turned suffocating. The presence wrapped itself in every creak and groan, the radiator hissing, pipes rattling beneath the floor, walls pulsing as if breathing. The eyes haunted the periphery, first fluttering behind my closed eyelids, shadowed glimmers drifting like moths trapped in amber, then pulsing sharper, flickering from corners too black for daylight's reach. One breathless moment, the cracked bathroom mirror caught a hungry gleam, two empty holes, darker than the void between stars, boring through layers of skin and bone with insatiable hunger. I gasped, too afraid to speak, yet whispering, "You're losing it." The eyes blinked slow, deliberate, curling in something like a smile. Paranoia wrapped tighter around my limbs, an iron coil with icy talons burrowing beneath my flesh. My hands trembled violently, skin prickling as if dozens of unseen eyes gnawed beneath, devouring every nerve ending, every hope. The more I tried to clutch reason, the sharper they became. An endless swarm of invisible gazes feasting on my reflection, my breath, the fragile seams holding me together. Every paint chip cracked open like a wound, every flickering bulb dripped light that shimmered with malevolence. One suffocating night tore itself from the nothingness. I wheezed through cracked lips. "What do you want?" A broken plea flung into an ocean of silence. Then, as if answered by the dark itself, a slick, wet breath slid down my neck, wrapping cold fingers around my skin. Was it wind? Or something darker? A creature slithering beneath the cage of my ribs, gnawing with a hunger that was bone and bone alone. They no longer watched. They consumed. Flesh, sanity, hope, all unraveling thread by thread. I grasped at cold reality. Empty rooms, unbroken locks, no footsteps in the hall. Yet betrayal blossomed upon my arms, pale, ragged scratches like invisible talons clawed deep, etching an untraceable map of torment beneath my skin. The eyes had slipped in, gliding beneath flesh and muscle, a devouring presence gnawing at the core of my being. The spiral tightened. Was this a haunting, or some savage fracture of mind breaking beneath unbearable weight? Mirrors shattered certainty, each reflection warped into blackened pits swallowing all light. Friends' voices faded like dying echoes, replaced by the harsh clang of isolation hammering inside my fractured thoughts. I barricaded doors and windows, but the eyes seeped through cracks and splinters, riding shafts of cursed light like parasites on heartbeats. That final night was dense with silence, oppressive and vast. I swear I saw them. Dozens of glowing orbs smeared against my window pane, frozen flames burning cold with merciless hunger. "Leave me alone," I choked, voice fragile as frost cracking beneath footsteps. They blinked. Slow, synchronized, cruel as predatory gods. Then came the worst. A wet, serpentine breath slid down my neck, melting skin to emptiness, an aching void eating through veins and bone. I stumbled into the hallway. Shadows yawned wide, black maws poised to swallow whole. The eyes multiplied, writhing through narrow crawl spaces, between sticky folds of peeling wallpaper and rusted pipes whispering forgotten secrets. They were inside me now, an endless hunger gnawing through flesh and sanity alike, a devouring legion of gaze and hunger undeterred. The last sound I embraced was a voice, voiceless, void, and merciless, echoing like the final note of a dirge inside my skull. We see all. We consume all. Escape? Vanish? The apartment stands empty now, silent and waiting. But on nights when the wind shivers and street lamps die, neighbors whisper of faintly glowing eyes behind cracked window panes, watching, waiting patiently, hungry for the next soul to surrender. If the eyes were always watching you, would you run, or become what they consume? Share your fears below, and dare to subscribe for more stories that will haunt your darkest dreams.